So I was like talking today, and I hear so much nonsense from people who don't even have a foot in the race, in the game. They're just talking. I talk to these young black men out here, elderly black men too, and the first thing they go is Trump is racist, and Trump is this and that and the third, and I don't believe anything this man got to say. And I said, what if I told you Trump was karma? And don't nobody like karma. They think karma is bias. They think karma is coming to kill them. And they don't know and understand what a devil is and how it comes to collect the negative energies and place them where they belong. That is your devil. It comes and it's like you have to abide by the temptations that you serve. Therefore, if you serve these temptations, then you do not have a footing or a leg in being a part of a society in which does not serve those things. Yin and yang balance, right? The dark goes where the dark is. The light gets to stay where the light is. And we're not talking about black and white. But the sad part about black Americans is the lack of knowledge to where we can't understand simple moves that make sense. He explained something that when it makes sense, I don't give a fuck who's saying it. If they're making sensible, reasonable choices, and they could be from a different walk of life, they could have grew up from a different walk of life, but if what they're doing makes absolute sense, I'm going to start really looking deeper into what the fuck they're about. You feel me? And Trump is the pinnacle example of judging a book by its cover. He's the pinnacle example. I used to say, if I was God, I would send white Jesus in. Not saying Trump is Jesus, but if I was God, with the hate and the maliciousness that comes from white Caucasian people who expect white Caucasian people to always back them with their hate, and black people who always expect white people to be hateful, and everybody, I would send white Jesus in. I would befuddle and confuse all things, because skin folk ain't always kinfolk. And that's a big ass lesson a lot of people need to learn, is how to sit down and understand individual to individual. A lot of people don't want to sit down and learn individual to individual. And what's happening is we're bulking people up in generalizations all over the world. All white people are evil. All black people are good all of a sudden. And all Asian people are communists, and all the Indian people are tree lovers and or nasty hygienic people, and all Africans are corrupt, and all the, like we're just all this, all that, and all Putin is dictator. And the reality of it is, it's like, and people say dumb things about communism. Now they're saying dumb things about dictatorships. I keep hearing dumb shit come out of people's mouth, like, oh, he's gonna be a dictator. And then you go and look at a dictator's country, a communist country, and they have no homeless. They're doing well off, better than we are over here with our democracy. So it's not about it. But 10 to 15, 20 years, when I was coming up, I might as well just say when I was coming up, because it was a long time. I was going to say 10 to 15. Then I realized, no, 30 years ago, it was, we don't want no commies. We don't want no commies. And then they opened the Red No app, and you got to see communist China in all its glory. You got to see how they made sure that nobody is homeless. You got to see that they pay rent, mortgage, and that when they have some Section 8 housing, it's worth a damn. And anybody can get it that's of lower income. It's not only biased to women and children. Like, that's what you open Red Note and you saw communist China taking care of its people. But all we used to hear coming up in the days, especially amongst the boomers, we don't want no commies. Don't know what that is. They don't know how it functions. How it's just a system that sets up. It's like literally having press play, pause, and fast forward, and then going, I don't want no pause button, and then finding out you definitely need a pause button. In some societies, you need to take notice that you might need a pause button. Some societies, you might need a fast forward. Some you might need a rewind. Some you might there's different plays. And Cyrus King taught me all these things have a place and position, and when they're positioned right and they're done right and it's for the conducive good nature of the people, it works. So ain't everybody go, oh, the dictator. If Martin Luther King became a dictator of the United States of America, would you care if he was the dictator when you know he's a just judge? And on top of that, he wants every child of every nation, of every race and creed and nationality and color to walk hand in hand, free at last. Free at last. If he was a dictator and he took over the whole fucking country, nobody would have a problem because it's Martin Luther King. Just like if your God, Almighty Supreme Creator of all the universe, controls everything, nobody cares about it. Doesn't, like I said, when the master is good unto the servant does not feel like a slave. That's what the Bible means when it speaks on mastery and servitude. So when we're talking about slavery, we're not talking about mastery and servitude. We're talking about oppression, suppression, and repression. Meaning we're talking about subjecting a people to a way of life that is foreign to them. That's why I always talk about Ramses. Because historically, what did Ramses do? Historically, Ramses wiped out every pharaoh's name. Like after Ramses the Third, all you got is a bunch of pharaohs named Ramses. That's what they were saying, how he tried to wipe out the uniqueness of the tribes that used to serve in Egypt. Because if you look at the other prior dynasties, those dynasties have those different names because they were different tribes that were allowed to rule in Africa. My people in Kinshasa had a tribe that got to rule. My grandma's people in the Modabi tribe got to rule in Egypt. Another tribe in Nigeria got to rule. Another tribe in Sheba and Keturah and all of them got to rule. That's how Africa used to do things. They had the people come in and they will allow them to rule from other countries. The book, even the Bible speaks of it when it speaks of Joseph. How Joseph was given pharaonic powers over all Egypt. So it's like they allow other people who were smart, intelligent, intellectually based, could stimulate, know things beyond the natural means, learn and add to the nation. They allowed them rulership in their nation. They allowed them to have a platform in their nation, and they allowed them to be a part of their historical greatness of their nations. Something that European monarchy and American westernized tradition does not do. We had white men all the way up until Obama. All these black, beautiful, wonderful people that came through all this time, including the first female that ran for president, the first black African-American woman that ran for president. All these wonderful ass people through the 1900s and the 1800s that could have been president, including Asians and Hispanics and blacks that could have been, and Native Indigenous people that could have been president of the United States, but the white man hogged the position. Right? And didn't allow other ethnic groups to rule. And then when he finally gave another ethnic group to rule, he only gave them 15% of rulership. 15% of rulership. and then gave him that because it's like, oh, you got the one drop rule. We gave Obama the one drop rule and expected him to thrive as a president in the United States of America. When we gave him the one drop rule in the White House. And then we turned around and thought Kamala, a black woman, a black Indian woman, was going to get the same one drop rule. When we know that, first of all, she's a Dravidian. She's probably a Dravidian or Aryan of the Indian world. Meaning her mama probably looks dark. Her daddy looked dark. The Indian women, her family are the outcasts. They are considered close to being Kafirs because of their dark skin, probably. If not, they're Indians. And they're being ruled by Sai Guru as their nation's king right now. And the black lady who is in the lead of India. And you black Indians, basically. Black Asiatic, Africoid beings. She's almost like black on black to them. And then she's a woman. And black people went out of their way to put her in office, while the opposing end went out of their way to try to put a racist in office. It would be a beautiful surprise that we didn't lose. That we actually got somebody who's going to do this from an unbiased perspective. And the unbiased perspective is going to be from a business stance. It would be wonderful if they got tricked. Yeah, look at it. If Donald Trump is the trick on them, it will be wonderful. And I'm going to break this down. Donald Trump said something that made sense. Why are we protecting Canadian borders? Spending all those trillions of dollars to protect their border. What the fuck are you protecting the upper half of North America? And who the hell drew that stupid ass border there to begin with? Get rid of it. Canada not being a part of the U.S. and U.S. not being a part of Canadian is the stupidest shit I've ever known. It's stupid to me that they think that they can sit on the same soil and be different people. That's been stupid to me. But I'm going to tell you something that made more sense. If I got to send all your people back home, if all your people are coming up from Mexico and Guatemala and Honduras and Haiti and all these places, if all your people are coming up into my fucking land, you just emptying out all your shit. Instead of solving your fucking problem with your people and getting your house in order, you just let them run all up in our shit. Just imagine living next to, that's like living in between two neighbors. And one neighbor's like, got a big ass damn wall up between, in between like Brewster's Place. Got a Brewster's Place wall blocking everything around them, and they like, no, we don't know you. But you got to pay for us to keep this wall. You got to pay taxes on this wall. And then the other one you put your yard fence up to keep their trash and their people out. And over there at the mama house beating on her kids, the daddy coming in, the uncles and all them coming in, they fight, and the grown ass motherfuckers get to fighting. And then next thing you know, the teenagers, the young adults, and all the kids start hopping the fence and coming up in your yard, pitching tent, and sleeping in your house and shit. Just imagine how stupid that sounds. And then get mad when you tell them that you got to go home and get your shit right with your family. Right? Or at least let me own your property. Since everybody want to come over here on my shit, I might as well be your landlord. That's what he's like. Y'all want to bring Hispanics want to come all up in the United States, but they don't want us to own their countries. You want to come over here and live, but you don't want us to own and control the shit that goes down in your country. But you hate it and you're running from it over here. That makes no sense. And Donald Trump is like, you got to look at it like this. If it's so bad over there, let me run it. Let me run it. Maybe I can clean it up and make your government do like the fuck it's supposed to by the people. Because it's either that or I put tariffs on your ass. Pick one. Either you surrender your governments over to me and I run it better. Heal my nation of people. Straighten up your nation of people. Dissolve this border and help the other nation of people. Or I can lock all you sons of bitches out, send all your kids back over there, and let it be your fucking problem in your household. Oh yeah, and if y'all want to be so different but attached to the same line, well, protect your goddamn self. You feel me? That made so much sense. But immigrants don't see it that way. Hispanics don't see it that way. They don't see that it makes sense what he's doing. I'm sorry, it makes sense. You don't get to pick and choose when you the beggar. Now everybody understand that shit. Another thing, this whole Elon Musk, I'm tired of hearing about it. The moment he went and tried to pull the Federal Reserve or the Federal DOGE of the records of where the money at, where the money going, where the money being, all these people is in the uproar. But y'all been mishandling the funds for the past 50 years. Y'all been mishandling funds for the past 50 years to the point where we so-called trillions of dollars in debt. And half of America don't even know how the fuck we got in trillions of dollars of debt. And all we hearing about is funding the war, funding the military program and campaign. That's all we hear about. But we know damn well that military, how broke them damn militants is, and y'all can't even afford to help these veterans out. We know all the money ain't going to no damn military. Most people can calculate that it's a small amount of a percentage of money that's going toward the military in comparison to the debt that's going out asses, and we don't know where the fuck it's going. Elon Musk want to pull the records, and all I hear is black people in poverty talking about our money gonna be fucked. And so you had money to begin with. What money? Like, you out here struggling to eat. You're not making money paying 3 times the rent. You're not making no money when you are sitting here worrying about EBT. You're not making no money when you can't even afford to buy a house that was affordable back in the 70s. You can't even afford it. You're not making no money doing car payments, insurance payments, road tax, law, property tax payments. You're not making no money. Middle class is poor. And you talking about some making money and your property tax is hiked. Y'all shystering the system to make the people that's in poverty pay higher utility services bills so the people that's rich don't have to pay. Because they ain't making no money to pay, but they got a $500,000 house and can't afford the lights in it without shystering the electric company and shit like that. And making the lesser people in the towns and cities pay for their light services. Ain't nobody making no money when you can sit here and argue about $1,500 per head of a child. You making who's making $50,000 a year worrying about a motherfucker's filing child support? Like, ain't no self-sustaining single parent care about that little earned income credit money when we know that $3,000 unless and then I'm gonna be real about it. Unless you divorce a woman and she got quintuplets, she got whatever the fuck, how many the fuck kids that's your problem. Sitting there procreating all them babies and then thinking that somebody is supposed to what? Want to be stuck up under them all the time, taking care of them all the time. People out here having multiple baby daddies, baby mamas, and then the baby mamas and baby daddies complaining about the child tax credit thing. You don't even have a foot in the race. Like I was saying to a young man, I said, who cares when y'all know y'all gonna blow half of it on bullshit? The kids ain't gonna get nothing. You're not gonna. I said, you know how many black folks, if they was to have financial literacy, wouldn't be complaining about this whole law? It's the men that's happy that don't have financial literacy that's happy that they can pay child support and get that earned income credit to do nothing positive with, but buy drugs, get drunk, get high, go somewhere, sleep with girls, get a passport and go spread STDs in other countries or catch STDs from other countries, bring them back because they were so-called looking for a wife. Like, y'all don't, nobody cares what y'all sitting here acting like y'all got a foot in the race and don't have financial literacy to understand that $3,000, let's just be real, the reasonable people that might have 2-3 kids at the most by one baby mama, baby dad, you all know y'all ain't getting nothing but about $4,000 back. And you know that ain't even a third of your income that you make by your damn self. Meanwhile, the ones with a valid ass argument are the ones that's working year round with kids, saying, look, or the ones that's working year round without kids, that's saying, why is it that we can't get a decent amount of taxes back at the end of the year? Like me, I worked all past 3 years. The only thing I would ever get in working 3 years, if I was to file my income tax on back taxes from the year before, I might can get up around $1,500. You understand? We working our asses off and can't even get $4,000 back. We making $20,000 a year. File taxes. Don't even want file taxes because we already know it's gonna be a couple $100 that we gonna get back. You understand how fucked up that is? To actually be a worker and to put your time in, and you can't get, and there be financial literacy, have financial literacy, and not only have financial literacy, but be responsible with your money. Budget well, and you can't get $4,000-$5,000 back off the top. So your arguments is pointless. Then they got the audacity to go on YouTube and hear about the housing authority shit. I was like, don't nobody give a fuck up. Anybody in their right mind that look at the hood and examine the hood will know one thing. Why is these white people in charge of these black ass Puerto Rican, these Hispanic neighborhoods, riding around in housing authority trucks, and putting these women and children in the dilapidated, most fucked up things, and then making sure they don't have no street lights, these motherfucking dark spots all over these projects, to where people are getting raped, murdered, and beat in the dark in those projects. The trash all over the fucking place, because even though they housing authority, they don't never have a regulatory city council people that come out and make sure them damn streets is clean. Don't make sure that you go to a dumpster in the hood and it's overflowing from where they don't even go pick their trash up like they're supposed to. Then you go up in the hood and most of these people got rats and roaches. From where all these maintenance motherfuckers, and can't nobody spray. Can't nobody make sure that it's sprayed. Can't nobody make sure that the ground was sanitized enough before building the houses on top of it. Like, but we're supposed to want to protect the system that's already broken and it's putting people in broke conditions, and then the conditions of the whole shebang. You gonna stay right there and not try to achieve to be nothing because you're scared to come off of it, genuinely, righteously so. Scared to come off of Section 8 because you know it's hard out here for the regular average motherfucker. They know it's hard out here. And here are black men and black women. Get on, ratchet. Meanwhile, same black men and black women, I wish I had EBT because I can't eat. You see how contradictory that sounded? You're asking people to be, it's just like asking white people who have privilege to relinquish their privilege, to struggle. Mm-hmm. It's the same concept to ask people who are on Section 8 to relinquish being on Section 8 to level up and lose their shit and have to struggle with most of them with kids. They're sitting in comfort out of fear. Y'all comprehend that. And then the bad thing about it is as they're sitting in comfort out of fear, they're being governed by racists, prejudice, supremacist, God complex, narcissist individuals that won't even make sure that the conditions that they are in is worth a damn. They're dealing with Reaganomics. Build whatever and put their asses in it. And then make them work, if they do work, make sure to put a factory that makes them work 10 hours a day and keeps them out from their children. Oh, yeah, and make sure that the school that the kids go to has no funding and ain't worth the damn. And if you put some teachers in there, make sure that they're just there because they don't have nothing better to do. They don't get no better pay, or they start messing with the kids. Or if they're not messing with the kids and don't do nothing, they don't have no better pay to do, they can't culturally connect with the kids because they're not of the race, of the creed, and nationality of the other people. Right? Further make confusion. Oh, yeah. And confuse them on what their sex and gender is while you're at it. Because if he plays with Barbie dolls, he's a girl. Like, you feel me? Stuff like that. Y'all are sitting here trying to keep a flat, dilapidated structure for what? It's already fucked. Fire me. If I was to walk into a workplace and the building was falling and there was roaches and rats all over the place, and I saw personnel in there, and I'm seeing they're cooking and they're doing their thing and they're not even doing it with sanitized gloves on, I fire every fucking body in that fucking McDonald's that same fucking day. I don't give a fuck if you like McDonald's. If that building and those people in that motherfucker are not hitting cold, I'm firing everybody. Like, it's simple as that. Oh, yeah. And your money getting fucked, you ain't got no damn money to get fucked, honey. I'm going to pull these records on these people that got, and I'm going to find out where the money going. Because if you ain't got the money to buy food, but you working 3 times the income to live and this and that and the third, then I need to be checking bank statements. It's what Trump is saying. I need to be getting into them looking them federal finances books. I need somebody that's got a mind to go in there, a genius mind to go in there and figure out what the fuck the money at. People out here suffering. Where the fuck the money at? I used to say to my homie, my neighbor, I used to say, how she working and you can't pay the light bill, but you making sure the rent paid. You paying the rent, but she can't make sure the light bill paid, and she going working bi-weekly for $14 an hour. And that means that she's got a daughter. So that means that her money can cover a light bill. She ain't got to do nothing but sacrifice about $300 for a light bill out of her little $1,200 that she probably get a month. But you in here in the dark. Ask that heifer where the money is. And she's a white girl, by the way. I said, where the money at? Review what she's spending on. Like, that's what he's doing with that DOG. Then I talk about get rid of affirmative action, the DEI and all this stuff, and how the women in the workforce. But I'm hearing these same men say women are supposed to be mindless bots that go home and don't ever try to accomplish and achieve anything. These same men using the internet and certain things that will have GPS location and satellite connections that they would not be able to access nor present if it wasn't for a woman. Because an inventor and a creator can be a man or a woman. Fostering a child's imagination and creativity is the number one thing that every parent thinks of when they give birth, whether it's male or female, to foster that child's potential. And then they grow up in the world where other fucking adults forget that there's somebody's child that was made to foster to be the best that they can be. And they're told that, no, stop being the best that you can be and be my servant. Submit unto me because you're a female. You see how dumb that sounds? These same men, if they had daughters, will try to foster them to be smart, educated, well-mannered, this and that and the third. They'll never tell their daughters, you will get you a nice husband and go sit your ass down in the house somewhere and be a servant. Suck, fuck, cook, and clean on him and raise the kids. They'll never tell their daughters that. But they out here telling somebody else's daughter that. The hypocrisy. Meanwhile, trying to stop the DEI, which allowed for men to make space for women. The same space that their fathers were fighting for their daughters to have. Then they go, well, Israel and the Hamas. He did a ceasefire on a nation of people that have been fighting since the beginning of damn time, killing their own, Arab to Arab, can't enabling each other repeatedly. And he seized fire and said, we gonna help clean some shit up. When y'all like free Palestine, well, it's the best way to free it when you got, what it looked like me going to two rival gangs that been fighting for 15 years. What you want me to do? Get caught up in the line of fire? Trying to side with one of them? Or just tell them, hey, bros, put the guns down. We can figure something else out. It makes sense what he's doing. Because he knows he's dealing with two fragile egos that if he don't do it right, they're going to be back to blowing each other off the fucking map. And he probably already knows that the peace treaty or whatever he's trying to do is not going to last long any fucking way. They're going to go back to doing the shit like they normally do. And that's for Arabs and Muslims and Jews and whatever the fuck Islamists and Hamas and that's for all of them. They need to reflect on that ugly shit they keep doing to each other. And we need to start pointing it out. It's no more free Palestine. We need to just straight up say, why do you Arabic people consistently like to kill your own? Collectively, explain that to me. And you know why we don't ask that question? Because we do it. White Americans kill black Americans. They might not kill their own, but they kill Americans. Black on black crime is fucking horrible. Let's not. African on African crime is horrible. Indian man on SAN and victimization of women's on their women is horrible. How they outcast their darker hued beings is horrible. How horrible these things are to put a mirror up to the world and say, look at yourself. Before you look and judge anybody else, look at yourself. The world is so fucking horrible, and y'all sit here playing games like we don't need to start making actual, real, authoritative moves. So I'm going to keep it at that. Keep it a buck 100. Y'all got to learn how to keep it a buck 100. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Get your feelings out and start looking at the shit logically. We'll be destroyed to earth before an AI bot could even come in and destroy it for us.